Hello Chapettes and welcome to the Double Mac Monthly for December 2016. It is 2017, but it is 2016. Hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you can see the snow, and I hope you're having a great 2017 new year. Whoa. What is this video? This video is a recap for my Patreon. This is where I go back and look at reviews of games that I've reviewed over December. Also, it's a chance for you to ask me any questions in our question time segment, and also there's a prize draw raffle for you to win a copy of Last Night My Musical CD. Ooh, it's the one and only, but it's not the one and only. There may be another one. So, without further ado, I'm going to go inside and watch the snow fill up my courtyard. So in the review of reviews, I talk about all the reviews that I did over the month, and I tell you what my score was on Board Game Geek, and I tell you whether or not it's my cup of tea. Yes, that's the most important thing. Is a game my cup of tea? Is it a game that I enjoy playing? Or does it just get a good score because it is a good product? I'll explain a bit more about that in my question time segment after. So what did I review? Well, if you wish to, you can click the video here to go straight to the review and see the review if it interests you. And the first review is Around the World in 80 Days from Purple Brain and Yellow Games. This game is a throwback to old kind of traditional style board games that we used to play. In fact, this is a kind of a reprinting of the Hare and the Tortoise game, which was released way back. It's a very simple racing game where you can only move forward if you have X amount of money. If you've got enough money to move 10 spaces forward, you can move up to 10 spaces forward. If you don't, you'll have to move as many spaces as you can afford or you want to pay to move. You can always pay in one currency to move one space each turn, but that would be very slow. Hence, it's kind of like based on the Hare and the Tortoise game. You could just move slowly, progressively through the game and always have some money. Whereas if you wanted to race ahead, you could just spend a big chunk of money, but then you'll waste a bit of time trying to recuperate some money so you can spend another big chunk of money. So it's a very balancy game where you're trying to balance your money and spaces because you want to finish the race first. You also want to finish with less than £10 because it's English currency, and you also want to get rid of some rumours which have been spread about you. It's a very nice game. It's elegant. As I said, the game looks like it's been born in the era of the 60s, 70s and 80s. It's that type of board game. It has that feel. It's great family fun. It is my cup of tea. It's a game that I really like playing, and I gave it an 8 out of 10 on my Board Game Geek rating. Next up is Soul from Catch Up Games. Soul is a very unusual game for me. It plays in teams. You'll be playing in teams of one player against one player, or two players against two players, three players against three players, or four players against four players. And each team has a group of buccaneers or adventurers, and you go onto an island and you're looking for an idol. And it's kind of a deduction game, and it's also a kind of moving game and a fighting game with some luck elements of rolling a dice. Also luck elements of trying to find where the clues are, and then when you find a clue, you kind of play a card which will give a point in a direction of where this treasure is hidden on the island. This game is resembles very much a very basic version of Tobago, but it is a family style. It's beautifully produced. It's got some nice ideas. It is very family orientated. It's not really my cup of tea because I do prefer Tobago, tomato, which is a lot more deeper kind of gamer's game, whereas this is a family game, and as I said, it plays in teams, which is a really nice change. And I still give it an 8 out of 10. A kind of really kind of Indiana Jones-ish kind of adventure kids game for the family. And unfortunately, that's all the reviews I did in December. Yes, I know, that's really abysmal, Barry. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I am ashamed because unfortunately, there were problems here at home. My wife has been terribly sick. I caught a sickness as well. And also my computer was sick and I had to reset the thing. And, you know, Windows isn't the easiest thing to understand. And yeah, that took days. And of course, it was the holidays as well. So, as you know, I'm an Englishman in Francais. Yeah, so I had to go home and see my family over in the UK, which put me out of action as well. But I did manage to put up 2 other videos, which you might find interesting. The first is a preview of a Kickstarter game, which is coming out in spring of 2017, called Museum. This is from Holy Grail Games, and it's a card drafting game, getting you to create your own museum, and it depends where you place these items will give you bonuses and special powers. Looks really nice. The art is by Vincent Detret, and it looks a very interesting game. So you can check out and find out a bit more about the rules from Andy in this video here, if that interests you, or wait until about spring and then there'll be some more videos up and around. And I did manage to pop up a top 10 list before Christmas, and this list was kind of I was trying to get it done earlier, but it didn't work because, as I said, the computer was down and then files were lost and I was panicking and screaming and fonts were missing. But I did do a top 10 list, and this top 10 is the top 10 games that you can buy a non-gamer at Christmas, last minute presents to fill their stockings with. You might want to check that out, even though Christmas is gone. Yeah. But yeah, there you go. And that's all the videos I did. Hopefully January is going to be a lot better. I do have a list and I've started writing a few reviews, so they should be coming out very soon. So the question that I'm going to answer for you is, what made me want to be a board game reviewer? Now, I think we all have a critic inside of us, and we all have something that we love with a passion, and we could talk about for hours on end. In fact, the one thing that I can do, talk about hours on end and critique really, really in-depthly with passion, is music, because music is, for me, my first love. It's the girl that I first met, and that was it. I adore music. I adore the way that it's constructed, the way that it's a mathematical puzzle, the way that it's portrayed and can be so different each time you listen to it. It's amazing. And I could go on and tell you about my loves and passions. And again, I could be a music reviewer, but I am kind of out of touch with modern music. You know, I've got my collection of CDs and that's it. I am happy with what I got. If I didn't buy another CD, I would be happy. In fact, I very rarely buy CDs anymore due to the fact, not that I download, not that I listen to music online and things like that, but because I just have my complete set of CDs, and that's the music that I want to listen to for the rest of my life. If something else comes along and it piques my interest and scratches the interior of my ear, then I will, of course, go and buy it. Again, if it's got like Mike Oldfield written on it, I'll go and buy it as well. Board games are kind of like a second love. I've always enjoyed playing board games. In fact, Hero Quest was my game that I used to play a lot as a kid, and it has a lot of fond memories of mixing that kind of role play. I could play role-playing games with my friends who didn't play role-playing games, and that was it. It was great. And that got me into the world of board games. Of course, my parents were card players as well, so I used to play a lot of trick-taking games and take-that games and things like that. But obviously, as time has gone on, the world has created a phenomenal amount of board games. In fact, there are so many board games now, it is impossible for a reviewer to review them all due to the fact that the speed that they come out. And again, the amount of time that it takes to review a board game is incredible. There are some games that you can review after probably a day of playing it. But for me personally, I like to take my time. I like to play a game in different environments with different people, and because that will give you a good gauge of whether this game is a good game, a bad game, or what kind of audience it's aimed for, because people are different. And every time you play a game, even if you play the same game that you love, let's say that your favorite game was Catan, okay? You love playing Catan, it's the only game that you want to play for the rest of your life, okay? You'll play it with so-and-so, and they will like it, and you will like it even more. And then you play it with another person, and they're okay with it, but you're loving it. You're loving this strategy and how to win the game. And then you play it with someone else, and the ambience is different. They're not really a gamer, and it just kind of breaks the game, and you start seeing little flaws and bits and pieces like that. And you're like, and then you play it again, and then maybe the game is not so great, or the game is even better because you're playing it with the first guy or the first person, sorry, not being sexist, but the first person, the first chappet, and you're loving it again. The games will always be different depending on where you're playing it and when you're playing it and who you're playing it with. There are games that I love, and I've played it with the wrong people, and it's just gone down like a lead balloon, and it's kind of left me thinking, is this a great game, or is it just in my head that this is a great game? So if I do a review, it may come a long time after. That's why you haven't seen things like Imperial Assault, Star Wars Imperial Assault. I can't review it at the moment because the only people I can play it with are a long way away, and getting to the table when they are here is a challenge, because obviously they're going to have games that they want to play, and so there's this big conundrum of elements which stop me from reviewing a game that I want to review, and that's why I kind of like review older games, and I kind of review newer games when I can, and those newer games are normally the small ones, the family ones, that I can get to the table here with my family quite easily. And again, at my gaming group, I can get them to the table quite easily and explain them. Again, I've got to explain these rules in French, so I have a wall in front of me, but it doesn't stop me from reviewing games. Again, a great positive about this is I live in France, and I am starting to know French designers and French publishers, and so sometimes there are games that come out in France that come out here only in France, or come out in France before they go worldwide. So I kind of got my finger in the right pool, but unfortunately it is a slow, lengthy process. As I said, I like to take my time. I'm not going to play a game once and then give you a review about it. I might give you a first opinion and tell you about the first opinions, but I won't give you a review because games need time. Now, when I say a game is my cup of tea, that differs from my overall review. A game that's my cup of tea is a game that I like playing and would love to play some more. A game that's not my cup of tea, obviously, is not a game that I want to play or don't mind playing. Whereas my score is my score of a game as an overall, because sometimes you'll play a game and everything about it is great, but the theme doesn't interest you, or the mechanics don't interest you. You've played this type of thing before, and as a reviewer, I feel it's not my job to say, okay, I don't like this game, you won't like this game. It's a case of me saying, well, this is what this game does. For example, Pandemic is a game that is not my cup of tea. I don't enjoy playing it anymore because there are things about it which really upset me, but yet everything about the game is good. The components, the artwork, the theme, the mechanisms. There are some problems with the mechanisms that I have personally, but everything about it screams, this is a great game. And that's why I give it a good score. Whereas it's not my cup of tea and it's not a game that I'm going to play. Whereas the reverse of that is a game which is my cup of tea, but is really poor, like Uno. You know, there's no theme, it's simple kind of card game, the art is not great, things like that. The cards are starting to wear after thousands of plays, but it's a game that I love playing. It's a game that I don't mind playing. It's, you know, so with my reviews, hopefully you can gauge either my character or my review, and then decide for yourself that's your goal. That's what you're going to look at to decide whether this is a game for you or not, because you're either my character, you have the same character as me, so therefore yeah, this game is going to be good, or you look at the game as the review and you go, wow, he's given that a 10 out of 10, so that must be a great game, so I'm going to get that and that should be good for me because of all those things. Or he's given it a 7 out of 10, which means that it's okay. Another reason why I do reviews and video reviews is because I like being creative. I like creating something which people can participate in as well as just observe. And of course, this video here is a great indication of that. I've put some credits, I've put some music, I've made some music myself, and it's just a wonderful feeling to produce something like that. I can't build a house, I can't fix plumbing, but this I can do. I can create a montage of images, of sound, of information, of a montage of just stupid things which would make you go, hey, he's funny. And he's not. Yeah. So I love creating things. And again, this has given me an opportunity to create a new medium, which is video, which is something that I used to do in my youth as well. We used to make films. We used to do lots of stage fighting and things like that. So editing and camera angles and motivation are always things that kind of stick with me. And I love just this media, and I just love creating things and mixing this with that and seeing if the music's too loud or if the music's too soft, or if that sound effect is too loud and too soft. And that's why I do this. That's why I kind of like, in my head, I script what I'm going to talk about in the game. I kind of come up with an idea of what I want to do. Sometimes a game will give me an idea of jokes to put into the video, or maybe a sketch to do at the beginning of the video, etc, etc. And I love being creative and I love being stupid. But most of all, this is a great outlet for me to express myself. And I think that's what we all need to do, is we all need to express ourselves. Obviously not in a harmful way to offend people. I mean, you can't say, Matt Leacock, you stink. Your pandemic game is really crud. No. Because everyone has a preference. You know, you could say to me, Mike Oldfield sucks. But I would say, no, yeah, if you think he sucks, he sucks. But for me, he is a genius. There you go. Okay, so there you go. There's a little bit of depth about me and why I do video reviews. And obviously I've got shelves of games that I need to review. And again, the reviews that I do are to help you try and find the game which is good for you. The game that's going to last in your collection. The game that's going to be there in 10 years time. And you'll be taken down and going, let's play this. It's Christmas time. This would be great with the family. Yeah, because games are having a shorter and shorter shelf life. You know, they come out and then they disappear. Do you want to buy a game which is going to come out and then disappear and then nobody wants to play it because they've never heard of it? Or do you want a game which sits on your shelf which is going to play time and time again? And that's, again, an important thing. Having a reviewer review games. And again, there's not just me, there's millions of other reviewers on the net. So you can always check with them as well and correspond their ideas with other people and see what kind of fits your groove. Yeah, groovy baby. Give me some sugar. So, as I said, there you go. A little bit about me and why I do reviews. I came out of a hat. It's that time of this video where I do the prize draw to win a cough. You can see I'm still ill. A copy of Last Night, my CD, but in digital form. Here it is in digital form. Yes, you get this card come through the post. It has a code on the back and you can download it. So, without further ado, all those Patreons. Yeah, if you want to participate, you need to be a Patreon and you need to be pledged above the $5 limit. And that will give you your name in the hat here. Yes, once you get your name in the hat, And obviously, if you pledge at one of the other levels to get some of the promos or some of the t-shirts or some of the actual physical CD, you will have your name put in this hat. Okay, so I have some names in my hat now. Haha, this is good. It won't be just David that wins. Well, maybe it might be David that wins. Let's have a look. I pull a name out of the hat. I open it up, and it is actually Elephant Girl that wins. Well done, Elephant Girl. You have got yourself another copy of Last Night. There you go. Not too bad. And while we're talking about Elephant Girl, I'd like to thank her for sending me a copy of Goblins Draw Fairies Rule, which was sitting on her shelf, and she hadn't opened it in all this time since the Kickstarter came out, and she saw that I wanted it on my wish list, and she said yes, if I would like it, and I said yeah, it's a game for my family, and so she sent it to me. So big thank you, Elephant Girl. That's wonderful. It's a very pretty game. It's a very pretty game. I've played it a couple of times. I need to play it some more times before I review it. So that will be a review coming later. So that's it. That's this video. All that remains for me to do is to thank my Patreons. So I'm going to thank you, Elephant Girl. You're a star. I'd like to thank David for your support. And the Snake. Thank you very much, mate. Vince, thank you very much. And Kevin, of course, thank you very much. Mwah. Shave that beard. And of course, the last but not least, Olivier. Thank you very much for all your support, for helping me do what I do and contributing to getting my new camera. And all that remains for me to do is to say thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget, there's my Facebook page. You can go there and see what I'm gonna do next. If you go to my Facebook page, Board Games Everybody Should, you will see what reviews are coming before they actually come. There you go, a little clue. So, thank you very much. Have a great 2017, and I will see you around. And until next time, play nice with your dice. And play nice with each other. That's more important.
Oh, wow. I rolled a 1. I believe I've earned a critical failure song, gentlemen.
Just sitting at the table next to Felicia would be quite nice. Wouldn't it be good? I got some board games, I don't know how many. Just like they do on beer and board games. Not an errand dream. I got no friends. Stupid. Why Dylan has no shame. So I play solo. Just me and my tail.